Well, let me explain the next thing yet. Yeah. So, and I'll give you a story on this. So right across the impact point matrix is the opposite of the morning wood alpha inhibitor, and that is the performance anxiety alpha inhibitor. Okay, this is where the mind and the emotions are involved. When you're actually in a sexual situation, then, you know, the arousal starts playing a key. You know, are you comfortable with this partner? You know, relaxation plays a key. The mind and the emotions are now involved. It's a much more complicated type of erection, okay? And you can see that biochemically as well. We talked last week over here, let's see, yeah, at the EBAI, the erection biochemicals alpha inhibitor. So when it comes, and you can see here that morning wood is sandwiched right in between the two classes I taught, the one on the blood flow alpha inhibitor in the erection biochemicals alpha inhibitor. It's sandwiched in between because it takes aspects of both of these things. And what I mean by that is when it comes to morning wood, really you only need two things in place to get good morning wood. Excuse me. And that's adequate blood flow. Okay, so this is the blood flow alpha inhibitor. So you got to get blood flow to the penis, in the penis, staying in the penis, right? So that's important. And testosterone. Those two things, blood flow and testosterone. If you got those things in sufficient quantities, they're working at least good enough, then morning wood should be occurring. Okay, so that's what I mean by the simplest, right? It's simple. But when you get over here into the bedroom and you start getting the mind and emotions involved, where performance anxiety can come in, we've got a lot more biochemicals that your body's got to produce in order for you to get that erection. So with morning wood, you just need blood flow, testosterone. Well, with a sexual erection, when you're in the bedroom, you need those two things as well as a host of other things like dopamine, like oxytocin, like CGMP, okay, as well as the sexual keys, relaxation, arousal, and immersion. So there's a lot more that needs to be in place, okay? And that's important because think about it this way. If you're going into the bedroom and the physical aspects of your erections aren't working sufficiently, then the chances of you getting an erection failure in the bedroom go up significantly, okay? Because those erections aren't even happening when you've got, when it's real simple, when it's only two biochemicals involved and you're not even conscious, you're asleep, okay? It's not even happening then it's going to be more difficult. Not impossible, because there's those other biochemicals I just talked about can help make up for some of that, as well as the arousal and relaxation. So it's not necessarily you're going to have an erection failure, but the chances of that go way up. And that's why I like to address if there's a morning wood issue, particularly if that's your core alpha inhibitor, your primary alpha inhibitor, I like to address that one first. And then when you go into the bedroom, once again, it's a lot easier to deal with the mental and emotional aspects because the physical aspect is taken care of. Hope that makes sense. All right. So let me give you a quick example of that, because I had a client that this happened to him. So, and this is before I actually met him, but he told me that, you know, his morning wood had gone away for a while, or he very infrequently get it. So he went into a sexual encounter and he had an erection failure. Okay. So the first time he had sex, he got the erection, but then he couldn't maintain the erection, right? Which really got into his head. So that's where the performance anxiety comes in, right? Got into his head. So the next time he got into the bedroom, it was a different situation. He couldn't even get the erection. He was so much in his head, right? And then he did some things to help with the morning wood, because we started to work together. But still, now that he went back to, even though this was working, he developed some of this performance anxiety. So now he had an additional thing that we had to deal with. We had to deal with the performance anxiety, which he did. And he started having great erections, right? But that's, like I said, that's one of the biggest mistakes I see guys make, is they don't address the foundation. They don't realize how foundational the morning wood is. Like I said, it's like your car's check engine light. If you're not getting morning wood, that's like your check engine light going on. There's an issue going on. So you want to address it. You wouldn't just keep, especially if you had a high performance vehicle, something that you put a lot of money into, you wouldn't just keep driving it with the check engine light. You'd go and get full diagnostics done on it, right? Well, your body is even more precious than a high performance vehicle. You can't get another one. You can't get another penis, right? You can't get another body. If you don't take care of that, if you don't address those things when the check engine light comes on, then it's a lot more difficult to deal with that. And once again, guys tend to panic when they start losing those erections. And that's when they start heading down the urologist business model. That's when they start on the ED drugs, then the trimix injections, and hopefully not, but a lot of times it ends up with a penile implant surgery, simply because they freaked out and didn't understand or start addressing the foundations of this ecosystem. Okay, so that's why that's so important. You don't want to go down that route and freak out, and you don't want to let it go on too long, right? Because that can create a lot of issues down the road. You want to address the entire ecosystem. And when it comes to morning wood, the nice thing about that, since it is primarily physical, okay, what we want to focus on is the center portion, this body-mind connection portion of the impact point matrix, because this is where the body and the brain, the interface of the body and the brain happen. So this is primarily physical, mental too, but mental on a physical level, right? So addressing, so it kind of narrows down. It's still an ecosystem. It's like an ecosystem within an ecosystem, but you at least get to narrow down on the things you're working on, right? And right here, you'll see that morning wood is attached right into sexual vitality, which goes right into the gut. Okay, and you also see blood vessel factors and hormonal factors. So once again, blood flow and testosterone. Okay, this all ties in here to morning wood. So with that in mind, this whole system is important. Don't get me wrong, and we'll get into a little bit of that if we have time. But we're going to focus on the gut.
Hey man, I hope you got a ton out of this segment of the MWAI Morning Wood Alpha Inhibitor video series, where we are diving deep into overcoming this insidious alpha inhibitor that is blocking our birthright of having natural, long-lasting, stage 4 rock-hard erections. If you'd like to get free access to the entire MWAI Morning Wood Alpha Inhibitor video series, make sure you click the link in the description of this video to register for free access to all of these life-changing videos in this series, along with some other surprise bonuses. Also, if you like this video, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe button, and turn on your notifications bell so that you get all of the future value-packed videos just like this that I will be releasing for you to help you be the best version of yourself and have natural, stage 4, rock-solid performance. I will see you tomorrow in the next MWAI Morning Wood Alpha Inhibitor video.